Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the North American ESL Pro League. We're already into our first matchup of the night. We actually got some pretty good ones for you here this evening. First matchup is going to be the Renegades taking on C9, and it's going to be starting off here on Train. Joining me this evening is Moses, so let's talk a little bit about it.
Well, first, let's give a big congratulations. I know some people in chat may not have seen the Reddit post or the tweet, but you are now a full-time ESL employee. Welcome to the party.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay, well, on to the game, because screw that stuff. Whew.
All right.
Almost got dangerous, right? Yeah, Renegades and Cloud9. This is gonna be really cool because Renegades has been playing really well. They're second in the league. Cloud9's a little bit farther behind at sixth. But I mean, this is just an extension of the Renegades we've seen over the past 3 months since I would say since like right before. Well, there really wasn't anything they attended before Taipei, but ever since Taipei, which was the first event we'd seen them at in a while, they've been playing some really good Counter-Strike, much improved, really good with nade work and everything like that. So I'm just pretty excited to see them continue that up. Glad Sponge is still around.
But it does look like we are going live now, guys, with the pistol round. So C9 starting off on the T side and the Renegades on the CT side. Pretty standard setups to start things off. As they're going to be hanging back, keeping close eyes watch on the ladder in there. But the majority of C9 moving their players over here towards Ivy. Number 7 man, nothing, getting ready to throw some smokes over into the outside bomb site. As the take will definitely be leading in towards this direction. So the Renegades should be able to hold that off. But they're in good positions to start this off. Sponge, if it takes some early damage though, as he got aggressive pushing the back of the B bomb site. Nade's going to get tossed out. Thankfully, nobody from the CT side rotated as a lot of this pressure comes into A as well. They get a good amount of control, smoking out a lot of the CTs. But Renegades are playing fairly passive anyway, so this shouldn't matter. Yam picked up that first kill into nothing, but beyond that, we haven't really seen too much combat. Now Yam going to jump over, catching Freakazoid, but burning a little bit as he rolls back up there. Skadoodle finding another shot, but Azza striking back once again as he rolls in. Shroud's able to take down JKS, and Azza's very low, so he's going to be finished off by Shroud, bringing it down to just Yam and Sponge, and they'll be overwhelmed very quickly. It's all on a Sponge in a 1v3, and he's got nowhere to roll. Picking up another kill on the Skadoodle. Now trapped and time running out. Doesn't seem to have a kit either, so it looks like he's just going to pull away and try to save the CZ.
Yeah, Renegades wanted to play a little bit passive and go for kind of a pseudo retake setup. Just letting Cloud9 kind of push up to the site using the long range. Only able to get 1 kill as they entered the site, but Cloud9 was able to kind of get off into some post-plant positions and set up some really, really nice crossfires. So Renegades just not able to make it work. Sponge keeps that CZ into the next round. But what a sick round from Shroud. Those 3 kills are huge. Skadoodle wins that battle out towards Ivy, so he keeps control. I mean, if he falls there, there's another avenue of retake that Renegades can utilize. So that was actually a really impactful kill that he gets.
Now for C9, the usual investments coming in. 3 rifles, 2 SMGs, going to try to stack up a little bit of money, but also the usual force-up buy coming in from the side of the Renegades. I'm going to be saving a little bit, not buying up armor behind his buy, but for the rest of the team, here we're going to see a scout coming out onto Azza as well. Trying to buy up there and make a little bit of impact as C9 lines themselves up. No more Ivy pressure coming in on this round. Most of their player base just going to be pushing in through either the ladder room or, for the most part, T-Con. As you can see, it's a big stack of players. There's some noise being made in the back of the B halls, but Yam's going to be able to read that there's no serious commitment due to his push.
Yeah, some smokes are out right now, so Cloud9 playing this a little bit slow, but now they're just going to explode at the T connector. Up on top of the trains, here go the Molotovs. Usilo's got a good spot, though. He finds Freakazoid, quick kill. Can't get the second one, which would have been huge, and meanwhile, Shroud's cleaning some things up towards CT choke point. And this should be all it for Renegades, as the bomb is being planted. Yam's right above ladder, but they really have no way to get back into this.
Yep, so just camping outside of the sites now. Yam trying to be a little bit sneaky, pressing his way back around toward the T-spawn, trying to find some exits if he can, but C9 now in full control and basically flawless on their way in, with the exception of Freakazoid going down. He's going to net a quick second round into the hands of C9, and not a whole lot of losses coming in either, unless they do manage to get surprised by one of these players on the exit. Shroud kind of sneaking his way out. Might be caught by JKS, but unfortunately he's looking the wrong way right now. Nonetheless, Shroud not able to react quickly enough there once they do spot each other, and due to him having that low HP, he will be eliminated. They've spotted Yam. Skadoodle hanging on there. Just gets a nice one tap to shut down Yam. But beyond that, unfortunately for JKS, he's pretty far removed from the battle. He did manage to scavenge a Mach 10, so at the very least he'll be able to carry that. Maybe have a little bit more impact for the third round before a real investment comes out from the CTs. However, the rest of the team has gone down, and he's probably going to have the only meaningful buy in this round due to that.
Yeah, the cool thing, or the good thing is we see this pretty often is Renegade or Yam has fully saved into these 2 rounds. He's sitting at 3,200, so he wants that AWP into the 4th round, so he'll be able to pick that up. And he's a massive impact player for Renegades on this. Every time we see a train match with Renegades in it, it always feels like Yam is making some kind of crazy plays with the AWP outside. So that's going to be a crucial weapon for him to hold on to, not only to have in the next round, but just to hold on to moving forward. It's a big portion of their success. And JKS with this MAC-10 looks like he's going to get some decent information. Sponge trying to cause some kind of a distraction. Here he is, he pounces, but Freakazoid's just jumping up and down into the bomb site. Head armor as well. So no easy kill for JKS, and then once again, this round's essentially over already.
Yeah, the rest of Renegades sort of hanging back on the outer site there, waiting to see if they could find someone that was going to move in for a flank so they could pick up at least 1 kill, but that's not happening. Stewie's actually picking up some substantial kills up on top there as he finds 2 more for himself, and Freakazoid moving in, able to shut down Yam. Last one alive is going to be Ustilo. He's stuck inside of Z with nowhere to roll, and he's quickly being flanked. He doesn't even realize this either. Nothing wants to roll out to investigate it. They could very easily shut him down, but he's only got a USP anyway, so there's really no reason to hunt him down. C9 are going to escape these anti-ecos quite nicely, with quite a bit of extra cash as they head into the first gun round.
Yeah, Shroud didn't even pick up a weapon in this, so we just kept the Glock. So yeah, there's a lot of money built up. Everyone is over $6 grand right now. Oh, that's a nice find at the end, though. Unfortunately, it's not an AK, it's just a MAC-10, so he'll drop that over, but it does force a rebuy of at least some armor, some nades as well, so a little bit of a dent in there. But all in all, Cloud9 sitting very nicely. The interesting thing, too, is Shroud, he has to rebuy, but he doesn't pick up an AWP and drop it over to Skadoodle, so they keep the 4 rifles set up, 3 AKs, 2 Galils. Meanwhile, Yam has his op. It is a glass cannon, but he only does that so he can get Molotov and smoke, so playing a little bit for the team route, getting that utility, and taking this AWP in towards the inner bomb site where he's holding this angle. He's going to get a chance here, and he does find it. Stewie just seems to stop a little bit too casually, and he gets dropped for free.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly fall back, giving himself a little bit more room to work with. The C9 might try to push out in reaction to that, but they're held back quite nicely, specifically on the ramp due to the smokes that are tossed in there. Both Nothing, along with Shroud and Skadoodle too, all going to have to pull away from this one. Sponge picking up another frag on the Freakazoid there, denying the T-Con entry. So unfortunately, things not starting off so well for C9 once they get the guns in their hands, and they've already spotted that there's going to be a play coming out from ladder room. Ustilo going to be able to read the fact that it's all 3 players now, and he might just shut it down on his own. Not going to happen. A Shroud at the very least finds a trade, picks up a second one. Not going to be able to find a third, though, as there is a crossfire angle set up there between Sponge and one more player inside of Z. Only need 1 to close it out, but Renegades are going to put their first round on the board here with the big guns in hand.
Yeah, pretty cleanly as well. Only losing 2 players. Ustilo almost getting that triple kill would have been perfect to help him build up a little bit more money. As it stands, though, I mean, look at this buy. It's not like they're hurting for anything right now. 4 members with smokes and Molotovs, 3 kits. The op still on Yam. Now he's got armor behind it, and Skadoodle has picked his up as well. So a little bit of a duel is going to come out here. And initially, we're going to see some action over towards Ivy. CT's pushing up, getting aggressive. 2 members of Cloud9 are out that way as well. Skadoodle and Nothing.
Also might see JKS push up too, so the guys on C9 are going to be hanging back a little bit, but it's definitely that Ivy action we want to pay attention to. A flash comes over, Skadoodle picking up the first kill, but Yam responds. Skadoodle on the repeat, though, is able to shut down Yam, which yields a little bit of an early advantage to C9 here. However, the Ivy play's been spotted, and he does have to fall back and away for it, but they get a man up. JKS responds, but Stewie does the same, bringing it down to a 3v2 now. And Ustilo, though, finds Freakazoid. Second time that Freakazoid's been shut down, trying to push his way outside of T-Connector. And now it's down to a 2v2, but the CTs don't have a very good read on the situation. Right now, they're pushing inside. Azza is going to be the only player to defend this, trying to line up a good shot against Stewie, but he can't find the connection. Still hanging out in the open, a little bit risky, considering he needs to buy time for his teammate to come in and assist. And a nice shot from Skadoodle as Azza tries to peek up on top of the train for just a little bit too long. And they've got the read on Ustilo moving for a flank. If he tries to push down that ramp, he's a dead man.
Yeah, he's going to have to wheel and deal his way around towards upper ramp. Stewie, he's trying to keep his eye on everything, but this bomb timer is running a little bit low. Now he's peeking in the right place. Clean headshot for him. 3 kills from Skadoodle. It all starts out with that alley aggression, which from Renegades, they played a little bit, they did it a little bit creative. They held an off angle that we don't normally see, but it's very susceptible to a pop flash, which is exactly what happened. They stopped being aggressive at the entrance just to kind of surprise somebody. Yet, unfortunately, it doesn't pay off for him whatsoever. It gets slaughtered pretty easily with just 1 flashbang. So that's a hard reset as well. Renegades, they have to save into this round. They upgrade some pistols, but they're not able to get any rifles, no armor, very little utility. So Cloud9 already looking like they're going to be up towards 5 and having a very good T-half.
And C9 already moving their players in position here too. Nothing just going to hold off the T-Connector for this exact aggression we're now seeing out of the Renegades, but he only manages to pick up 1 kill. Ustilo very quickly trades that back out of Nothing, but this does prompt the actual take towards the inside yard. JKS trying to hide back a little bit. He doesn't have a whole lot to resist this take with. So just trying to use his movement to his advantage now as he seeks through the smoke over here on the sidewalk. Wrapping around, should be able to find Stewie, and he does. Looking for another pickup on a Freakazoid. Not going to be able to find that, but he still did some good damage, so Azure might be able to roll in and finish him off. He's going to do so. That pop flash a little bit too late, and he's caught while swapping weapons. Now Azur's going to find an AK. He moves in, picks up another kill on the Shroud. Down to a 1v2. Skadoodle trying to hold the upper ramp now, but not going to be able to do this. He finds one pickup, but Yam rolls up the ladder, shuts him down. And of course, Yam going to have plenty of time left to defuse this bomb. Renegades steal a round away on a full eco.
Yeah, that's incredible. Did not see that coming whatsoever. It looked like Cloud9 had every advantage into that round, and Renegades, I mean, once that intertake comes on, you could see him getting aggressive. That one kill behind the first train was huge. Also just delaying a little bit longer, buying time for rotations to come in, and then Renegades finds himself into a really solid 3-on-3, able to clean everything up. So really nice job from them. That's sick, and that even gives a free MVP over to Yam. Look at the money he has behind this, $4,500, as he doesn't have to buy anything. And Cloud9, back foot here, they're not going to have any weapons. They're going to be saving no armor, just upgrading pistols. They have plenty of smokes to try and get a plant down, but they're reeling after that.
It's going to be a quick attempt to try and set themselves up for an outside hit, as it would appear now. Most players stacking outside of the T connector, getting ready to line those smokes up. An early one was already tossed in. And you've already got Stewie hanging out in the back of the B bomb site, just trying to make sure none of the CTs push in and take him down. So they'll have at least one alternate angle to work with here. Nothing also is going to be with him too. So it'll be a 3-2 split on the entry from C9, but very directly heading towards the A bomb site as Renegades just posting up, patiently waiting. No reason for them to get really aggressive with the exception of Azza, who might actually find himself in a bit of a tough spot if this drop plan's working. Flash comes in. Azza's able to execute the first one, taking down nothing. I believe that's the bomb. Going to drop Stewie as well. And elsewhere, Ustilo was able to find another kill on a Freakazoid. So C9 not really going to be met with much success in this round. Skadoodle's the last one alive. He does have himself in a bit of a sneaky position there, picking up one kill, trying to chain some together, but it's not going to be possible. Just finds a 1-for-1 trade. As JKS will close out the round, bringing it to 3-4 now.
Cloud9 plenty of money now due to that save. Pretty conservative with their money, knowing they already have 4 rounds. So I like the idea. They can get whatever they want now. AK-47s, Galils, they have Molotovs, they have smokes. Skadoodle even has the AWP. He's leading the way with 8 kills, and he had that really impactful, that gun round where he got 3 kills. So he can do some damage here. It looks like they're going to do some kind of fast strategy. Smokes, flashbangs pouring over T mid. Meanwhile, Cloud9, actually, they're going to work their way to the inner bomb site, but this hasn't pulled away any rotations. Yam's going to be there, but he's pinned in. Shroud finds the headshot all on JKS now. Molotov comes out. It's going to be a little bit late, but he does find Shroud. Now the Molotov is perfect with that opening kill.
The guys on C9 still going to try to hop over it. Nothing finds his way over towards the bomb site. And JKS a little bit too timid to go beyond that smoke. Going to re-smoke ramp, but it's far too late now. Freakazoid also working the flank at this point. He's found his way to the outside site. Picked up a kill onto Ustilo. These are under pressure on the inside site, but they've done a lot of damage over here. And Freakazoid able to take down Sponge. Completely opens the doorway, and the CT just have to go forward now and attempt to retake this. But Sponge going down. Azza going to be able to find a flank onto Skadoodle. As the remaining members of Renegades move in together, unfortunately, Freakazoid rolling in. There is this defuse going on, but Amali's going to be tossed out. That's going to shut down Azza from pulling this one off. And JKS, with only 13 HP left, he is surrounded. The guys on C9 having a little bit of trouble finding him, so he almost, actually, he does manage to sneak away, it looks like, with that one final kill there. But very quickly after that, Freakazoid trades him out, and C9 take back control as we head into a pause, assumably from the side of Renegades.
Yeah, more than likely, because they're going to have to figure out... I'm assuming they're going to buy here. Yam can drop one over and pick one up himself. But that was a good round by Cloud9, although a little bit interesting, because that fake towards the outer yard didn't actually pull any rotations away. It was just that opening shot is missed by Yam, and from there, he's on the opposite side of box halls of where he needs to be, and he's just kind of closed in by Skadoodle's AWP. And it's not just that one kill onto him that opens things up, but it's Freakazoid in that outer train yard with the lurk, gets a kill onto Ustilo, and just freezes Sponge. Sponge can't rotate. He feels like he has to deal with Freakazoid in the outer train yard, and that just delays so much. There's no rotation, no backup coming to the inner site, so Cloud9's able to just swarm it and have a huge advantage.
Pretty quick pause as we get right back into the thick of things, and it is going to be another buy from the side of the CTs. Op investment included on DM. Full rifles for everybody else in the team. Some players will be a little bit late on utility, but they still have everything they need to work, whereas C9, actually, they're still in a fairly limited amount as well, which is also coming to the reason as to why Renegades could be buying up here, just to try and continue to break the T's economy, but C9 play much slower this time, lining themselves up. Most players are heading to the back looking for an inner hit, but this could change very quickly if Renegades prove to hold things off successfully at the beginning of their take.
Yeah, this is much slower out of Cloud9. JKS at the bottom of the ramp. There's an opening kill onto Ustilo. Freakazoid finds that one, and then he gets away safely as well behind the cover of the smoke. So Azure looks like he wants to push up behind this. 4 members of Cloud9 heading towards the inner bomb site. No one from Renegades has rotated off this. Not a lot of utility as well. JKS is going to have to use this Molotov very, very wisely when the execution comes in. Sponge as well on top of the bomb train inside is very, very exposed to flashbangs and everything. But Renegades has sniffed this out. Azur has pushed up team mid. He's going to flank behind very quickly. JKS gets that first kill, and Sponge as well slows things down.
Now guys of C9 are going to try to change this up, going down the ladder room here, but the problem is they have a flank working against the Mazza. He's going to be a little bit late to the party as they try to jump down the ladder room, but Yam's still holding things. He is traded out by Skadoodle, so they'll continue to press onwards, but they still have good amounts of control. JKS is going to get hit pretty heavily with a nade, almost directly in his face. He's now down at 44 HP, but now out comes Zaza, picking up that first kill and lining up the second one, closing out the round, denying the plant from C9 as well, and putting themselves right back up to a close matchup, 4-5, and re-breaking the T economy. Not really going to be able to afford a buy up here, as they've got 2 players sitting at around 1.4k.
Yeah, a huge stand and a brilliant play from Azur on that flank. It's all the intel. I mean, it seemed like Renegades felt like there was going to be inside hit anyways. They didn't rotate anyone off of it, but it just meant wherever Cloud9 went, he had a fast flank coming in, whether it was the inner bomb site or coming down ladder the way they did. Azur was ready to pounce on it. So yeah, back out of the safe for Cloud9. This time it's only 1 smoke and 2 flashes on nothing. They have some upgraded pistols, but not going to be able to set up any kind of wall of smokes outside. So Renegades should have the advantage here with the range of these rifles, and Cloud9's still stuck behind the smoke. It's going to be all on Ustilo as they come streaming out.
Trying to line themselves up for a quick push, but look at all the resistance coming in from Renegade just in terms of pure utility that's being utilized. Nothing being given a lot of room on the left side of that push. Able to take down Ustilo, finding some trade kills, but now they're struggling to get past this as Azza finds another frag onto Skadoodle, reacting nicely too to shut out nothing. It's all on Shroud now. He's going to try to make a last-ditch push to get outside the ladder, but he's already being tagged before he even exits the room itself. Azza's once again going to find the last kill. He gets a 4K on that round, and Renegades now tie things up at 5 rounds to each team.
And importantly as well, only losing 1 member. Ustilo is the only one to drop there, so still building up money on the Renegade side of things. And Cloud9's going to go for a double safe here. And this might just be because they got up to 5 rounds so quickly. They say, all right, we don't have to pressure the situation. We don't have to be worried about force buying too much into this. Let's just make sure our next gun round, we're going to be able to have anything we want. So, you know, a little bit of that early success alleviating some of the economic pressure they're feeling right now.
Freakazoid looking to find that entry outside of the T connector once more, holding back just inside the smoke, hoping the Ivy players can get in a better position. There's actually a really good opening pop flash, and Sponge trades out, so he's not able to connect early on here, but nothing does find his first blow. Freakazoid as well, picking up his first kill, also overwhelming Yam, so good push coming out from C9. JKS and Azza trying to get control of things once again, but Azza going to miss another connection of Freakazoid, allows him to push through a little bit, and now he's sitting directly next to JKS as he's trying to go off on some of these players. Azza did find another kill into nothing, so it's just on Freakazoid. Now he has to play passively as he's in a disadvantaged position, but he should be able to creep back up here and retrieve the bomb. It's all about playing things cautiously, and it's the same story for the 2 remaining members on the Renegades as well, as both of them are not necessarily in optimal positions, but JKS gets the good angle against Freakazoid. Thankfully, he's going to shut him down by eliminating him coming out of the alternate tunnel.
Yeah, Azur's having himself a really good game. He's at 15-8, but you know that round is saved essentially by him because Renegades got overrun at the defense in the outer yard. He had a couple of really huge kills there, as well as dropping Nothing, who had the bomb over towards Hell. It's able to salvage the situation, but now, I mean, now they're not going up against Tech9s. Now it's, you know, the fully bought out Cloud9. So they had trouble in the last time, but they got to deal with the rifles this time. And once again, it looks like a fast lineup for Cloud9 with these smokes towards the outer yard. No one's really coming out with it except for Freakazoid. Looks like he wants to get aggressive through this smoke using his flashbangs. 2 members towards Ivy as well. And Renegades has 4 members in this outer train yard.
Freakazoid's been fairly hit or miss when it comes to this entry, but thankfully, there's actually not a whole lot of attention drawn over towards T-Connector this time around due to the pressure that's coming out through Ivy. So Azza, waiting, actually just catches Nothing, completely unaware of the situation. Sponge and Ustilo also have a good hold here. Ustilo is going to be able to find 2 pickups. Same thing for Sponge, taking down Freakazoid and Skadoodle. Shroud finally responds with his own, but now he's stuck in a 1v4. Has very little room to work with. That's not going to stop him from finding kills, though. Lining up another one against Sponge. He's just spotted him up on top of the green train, but what he doesn't spot is Ustilo pushing forward on top of the other trains. That takes down Shroud. And Renegades take a good lead now, starting to establish it quite well. And Cloud9 are at a bit of a contention point here, but probably still not really going to be able to go for the buy. And if they do, it's only going to be a half buy.
Yeah, this is the trouble with that execute from Cloud9 is they use a lot of their utility to set up the smokes to get out of connector and start pushing forward, but once they eventually do, they found themselves blocked off by smokes and Molotovs from Renegades. So they actually had to wait those out, wait for those to expire before they could progress, and then they had no more flashbangs or utility to help them get any kind of advantage in these gunfights. They had no flashbangs to blind anyone holding angles, no Molotovs to force people out of defensive positions, and it was pretty much all done from there. Renegades just held very, very strong. EM does spot nothing towards the inner bomb site, misses the shot though. And all of Cloud9, 4 members boxed up in Whitehall's coming down these stairs right back at Yam. And he's going to be able to, shoulder peek, baits out a shot. Now it gets a little bit dangerous for Yam. He's got to fall back. Molotov to slow things down. Cloud9 hasn't committed just yet, but he's going to be in some trouble.
Yeah, could be in a little bit of trouble there, but thankfully he falls back just as it was about to come to Shroud to peek up from upper there. Falling away. Perfect timing from him, and JKS was also starting to cover it, but Stewie finding a good first shot from ladder room. JKS easily responding to that. And the T's is trying to get themselves out into the site to force the plant, but it's turned very sloppy here from the side of C9 as Renegades continue to just mop it up. The only one left alive is Stewie now. But he's hopping away, and Yam gonna pick up the final kill through the smoke to shut out Stewie. As Renegades lead 8-5, C9 coming off of that eco. Our apologies, going to be able to go for at least one more buy round here one more full buy round, I should say, before we get to the final round. But things have grown very inconsistent to say the least, and the odds of them picking up any more rounds is going to get quite lowered here unless Renegades screw up on their initial holds, which have actually grown much more solid as we've gotten further and further into this half.
Yeah, well, the losing vote is built up, and the way that Cloud9's played the economy, these last 2 rounds out of them should actually both be buys. The majority of them sitting right around $1,000, and with the losing bonus, if they were to lose this round, they'll still have plenty of money into the next one. But the big deal is that this defense is held strong. Nothing spamming through the smoke brings Sponge down to about 40 HP, and then he cleans it up. He finds that kill eventually. Sponge remains aggressive. Gets dropped through the smoke. So what's the response now from Renegades? Yam rotates back towards the outer train yard. JKS all alone inside. He might have some pressure put on him. Stewie's here as well as Shroud. It's a little bit of a dangerous situation, but the rest of Cloud9 is being very, very patient, looking for any kind of push, any kind of information gathering out of Renegades.
Az is going to get a little bit nervous of this changing up to an inner hit, so he's going to move into support. JKS just a little bit here, so it's only going to leave 2 on the outside yard, and Yam will probably find himself in a bit of an aggressive 1v1 to start things off. He's off-angled to nothing right now. He's sitting on the other side of this, whereas the rest of C9, they're all probably just going to pile in for both ladder room and T-connector. Which leaves you Steelo along with Yam trying to hold all 3 of these angles, and support for them is going to be a bit of a ways off. Yam did just spot the pressure coming out from nothing, but this could very easily just be a flank, so they don't know where it's coming in from as of yet, but now they're going to know. All the nades rolling in. Freakazoid finding the first entry, but unfortunately for Freakazoid, he leaves himself overexposed for far too long. Yam finding 2 pickups in a row, looking for another one. He's going to be able to take down Skadoodle, but nothing in Shroud. Pick up 2 of their own as well. Shroud's going to try to finish things off on his JKS, but will fail in doing so, and now JKS making a whole lot of noise. So nothing is going to know exactly where he's playing from, but he does safely retreat inside of Z for the time being, just to make sure they didn't rotate away.
And nade not going to do a lot of damage. JKS he didn't spot anyone jumping around trying to get info in this 1-on-2, so had to go check the inner bomb site, and now it's just a very, very tough spot. Stewie and nothing have a very good crossfire setup. JKS is going to go on the hunt a little bit, and he spots Stewie, but Stewie's wisely not taking the fight, making him commit to something. He has to spend so much time trying to chase down these kills, trying to bait out a peek, and it's just not going to happen. He does eventually find Stewie. Now he picks up the AWP. Nothing's over at the angle towards Ivy, but there's not a lot of time left on this bomb, and nothing should just win this by default. A really well-played round, and actually JKS even gets off. It does get the kill, but there's no time for this to fuse. That's going to be, oh my, yeah, that's going to be a 6th round for Cloud9, so really good on them to outlast that clutch. Thought for a second that was going to go through.
A little bit of time left, unfortunately, on that defuse. Just over a second, it seems. So well timed by Shroud to play that out there and just play it safely towards the end of it. Of course, with Renegades having that 5-round streak they did in quite cleanly in some of them, they will be able to afford this final rebuy. So still going to be looking at the CTs in a safe position. Same story for C9, though, as you were mentioning previously. Skadoodle does have to downgrade himself over to a Galil, but with the rest of the members still having AKs and full utility buys, that shouldn't matter all that much. They should possibly be in a good position and maybe find a 7th round here if they continue onwards.
Very passive out of Cloud9. Renegades gets aggressive down Ivy. At least has the AWP boosted up. No one's coming quite yet. It is very slow paced. It's going to be nothing to try and test this out. And nothing. It looks like he's going to pre-fire the angle, and he does. He finds Yam on top just as the smoke clears as well. Opening pick goes the way of Cloud9, and that's a huge weapon gone for Renegades.
Fortunately, Renegades decided to get a little bit more aggressive with the CT side as we came to these last couple of rounds and a half. Has really started to bite them a bit, at least over towards the A side where they decided to do it. The B side, though, has had better results, and there's a 2-stack now over here towards the top of A. Shroud finds the first one, but JKS is able to grab a response. Now wants to fall back quickly, though, because of Stewie working his way out from the ramp. JKS spots it, though, and nicely played, just tapping out. Is able to find Stewie, takes him down, alleviates a lot of that inner hit pressure, and can now safely rotate back over towards the A bomb site to assist.
Yeah, this has turned into a tough spot, but still this defense is very spread out. Azur's the big game changer here with this position in ladder room. Gets another kill, or gets his first kill, excuse me, out of Freakazoid. Skadoodle coming up next, and there's also nothing coming out Ivy, so a little bit worrisome for you, Stillo. Nothing's looking for him, looking for this spot, and he does find the kill. Hauser's still chiming in from ladder room, though. He is the game changer, and he's got a perfect position to prevent everything, although JKS walks right into some bullets, so this is going to give nothing a chance to get the bomb. 15 seconds left on the clock. He's got to make his way all the way back towards the bomb train. The question is, when does Hauser make his move? And it's right now that he's sitting at this entrance, waiting to hear the bomb go down, and now he knows he's got nothing isolated.
Nothing, though. Trying to relocate to a safe position, is going to move out just at the wrong time. Asa with some good aim is going to be able to close out that final 1v1. Bomb just been planted, so he's got plenty of time to defuse it. And the slow play from Asa ends up closing things out, making it 9-6. At the end of the half, still a respectable scoreline for C9, but Renegades also putting up quite a few rounds on the board. If they start off hot on this T side and solidify that lead up to 12-6, and that could be troublesome for C9 trying to bounce a comeback later on in the second half.
Yeah, Azur's just playing so strong, and he's one of those players. Him and JKS are the ones who, ever since Taipei, have really been, grabbing attention. They've been playing really, really well, the two of them, ever since this period, and which is good to see, because those are the two impact players that Renegades has picked up for that exact reason. Their performance combined has really carried Renegades to some really good performances here. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting half for Renegades on the T side. Now, what can they bring to the table?
Yeah, ironically enough, was a little bit silent there, at least on the CT side, where he was dominating things. If you hark back, like I think you were talking about it before the match starts, you go back to that first game of the season where they played against Selfless and he dropped like 42 frags. He only managed to drop 8 in this first half here, so not a whole lot of presence from him, but thankfully other players like Asa really stepped up big time, and JKS as well, as they're normally used to carry over some more of that performance and make sure Renegades started off well. But the sides are switched, and we are going into the second pistol round now, with C9 putting actually a lot of pressure over here towards the Ivy area, stacking 3 players, hoping that someone from Renegades is going to be pushing over towards here. They might be obliged in that regard, but for the time being, it's a pretty usual setup from the Ts, and probably aren't going to see that much action over there.
Yeah, it also gives them the range of those USPs to take these battles. I mean, this is USPs and P2000s. This is where they kind of shine against the Glocks, obviously, especially in this narrow alleyway. So Freakazoid just watching for that. He knows there's some people right in that little alcove. Not peeking quite yet. No one from Renegades pushing up and being any more aggressive at the moment, and actually they've used their smoke as well, so they're essentially out of utility. One flashbang left from Sponge. It better be a God Flash.
It's going to connect on a Freakazoid, but that's about it. Now as the rest of the team pushes forward, Freakazoid finding one hit before he's traded out by Asa, but thankfully Shroud finding another one. They try to push themselves into Ivy, but it's just not working. Nothing goes off on the pistol round, finding 2 very significant kills. This combined with the other efforts of Stewie, Shroud, and Freakazoid shut it down from that Ivy hold. Unfortunately, Renegades are not going to be able to keep this lead super solid at the beginning of their second half.
That's both pistol rounds that go the way of Cloud9 as well. So a little bit tough for Renegades to deal with. Looking back, that's going to be an area where they highlight that they dropped the ball on. So looking good for C9 here, but they've got to survive this eco. It is Tech9's, it is the Deagle. Looks like it's going to be fast paced as well. 2 members already out into that first alcove right by the first train. And they're just biding their time. They're waiting. 1 smoke on Azur, 1 flashbang on Yam as well. That's all they have to utilize in this. And Yam with this Deagle might just go for some kind of pick before they commit anywhere, before they actually execute. He might just kind of peek up and see if he can find anything on the bomb train.
So holding back for now. Renegades still trying to play this slowly, but that's not going to work against the Superior Arsenal coming out from the side of C9 right now. Nothing had Shroud picked up 2 kills. Sponge trading out at least one of them, but struggling to find a hit on the second player. 2 of them are going to fall back from the outer bomb site and try to rotate themselves over here towards B. Same story for JKS as he pulls away from his Ivy hold. We'll regroup with them at a later time. C9 already starting to get a read on this, though. Stewie's recommitted himself pretty heavily to the B-bomb site, and Skadoodle's just rotated in through CT spawn as well with the scout. Should be able to keep his eyes on upper, so Renegades, with how slowly they're moving themselves in, they're going to have a rough time even getting into the site. There's Skadoodle finishing off Yam with a nice jump scout pick, takes him down. And for the final 2, they're going to basically make a last-ditch attempt to get in here, but they've been read like a book at this point. So there's Skadoodle with another one, finishing off JKS, and Sponge, unfortunately for him, he doesn't have much hope at this point.
Yeah, you said it, just moving very, very slow. There was a small window of opportunity where there was no defenders in B bomb site. Obviously, Renegades doesn't know that, but just the fact that they went so slow allows for Skadoodle to get back in time, and he's just racked up a couple kills, jumping scout from range. Sponge does add 1 more kill to his tally in this round, but it's going to be all over from there. Not too bad from Cloud9. They're going to survive that one, and now it's just Renegades you're just gonna have to full save here and hope that whatever you can get into the 4th round is gonna be good enough. Hopefully try and get a plant, but I mean they can't invest too much. Yeah, Mustillo, Azure, they're all at 1900. JKS not far ahead of them at 2000. So Sponge is the only one who even picks up a flashbang to utilize, but you can't imagine that's gonna do too much.
Probably going to be a quick play now as these players move themselves over here past ladder room. All of them grouped up here either in the white halls or moving themselves to the back of the B bomb site now. First flash to try and get them past the ramp, but there was also a nade that rolled in here too. Molly's thrown on the ground. Stewie just mopping things up. Fortunately, he's going to run out of ammo, so JKS finds a trade in that regard, forcing the plant. Might be able to grab this, and he succeeds, but now the team has to try and hold out here. A raiding flurry of grenades is going to be able to finish off JKS, and then Sponge will be taken down by Skadoodle pretty quickly after that as well. So they pull up the retake. Unfortunately, we're not able to stop the plant, so Renegades get a little bit of extra cash for utility now heading into this gun round, but that's the only one they were able to find, and without too much damage being done to C9 in the first place on these eco rounds, it's not going to look too good if they don't impact heavily, at least on this first gun round.
Yeah, that plant is actually huge. Huge that they're able to get that with minimal investment as well. It's all Glocks and 1 flashbang. So able to get the bomb planted. Stewie does do a very good job of getting those opening 3 kills, but from there, I mean, Skadoodle's the only one there with the scout. Can't really stop anything from the angle he was at. So good plant from Renegades. They have a lot of utility to use in this. They even have the AWP on Yam. Once again, it's a glass cannon, though. Gotta be careful of the fights he takes, and 3 members going to take over box halls. It looks like Renegades wants to put a little bit of pressure here. The big story at the moment is Freakazoid, heavily aggressive. He's got the MP7, and he's already pushed up towards T-Choke. So he's got a lot of intel of what's coming. He knows there's no pressure being put onto this outer train yard for mid for at least the time being.
He also should have been able to hear the jumping Sponge was doing as he was going back up the steps too to get himself into the white halls. So at this point, you either have to assume it's going to be an Ivy and ladder room push, or just going to be all towards the B-bomb site. C9 already started to shift some more of their player base closer to that B-bomb site. Skadoodle is much more heavily committed to the inner bomb site. Nothing on top of the trains, but trying to help out Freakazoid a little bit here in the event there is going to be a push coming in from T-Con. Nothing for the moment, but now the guys on Renegades are getting ready to move themselves in as Stewie hangs out below, just underneath of upper, waiting for the push to come his direction.
Yeah, this is going to be an inside hit. They've given up all map control. Freakazoid still has plenty of information mid, but still Cloud9 hasn't really rotated anyone extra back. It's going to be all on Stewie. Molotov comes out just now, but they're already past it. They know exactly where he is. He does get the kill onto Ustillo. That's after he gets dropped himself. So now Azure has plenty of time to push up to get a little bit closer towards the choke points, playing behind a smoke next to the train. Skadoodle gets a kill, but Molotovs are burning both of them alive. They both stood in it for the full Molotov.
I think they disconnected, actually.
Oh. Well...
That's a bit on... Yeah, because the...
I was so confused. I was like, why is everyone burning alive? All right. Yeah. That's so a little bit of a... That's an unfortunate time to drop from the server.
Yeah, so both of them are going to go down to that. Freakazoid, I'm assuming one of them will find him and take him down, but we'll be heading into a pause after this one.
Literally just watching their health bars drain, wondering why they're not moving.
What's going on? The first shot, it was funny too, because he picks up a kill and then he just hangs out there, and you're thinking for a second, is he looking for another pick, or he's just hanging out? Nope, he disconnected. So we'll have to figure that out, and as soon as it is, I'm assuming we'll jump back into the match, but a little bit of a lengthy pause coming up, unfortunately, probably.
Yeah. I mean, that's the, I'm assuming that's the team house that they're all in. Yeah. Oh, Lord. All 5 literally just dropped. All right, so, well, here's what we're going to do, because this is a little bit different than just one player dropping off. We're going to go to a little bit of a break while we get this figured out. And we will keep you guys updated as soon as we know what's happening.
All right, welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. We are resuming the match in its current state. As a bit of an explanation, the round will not be replayed, as since damage was done before that incident happened, the round will be sticking according to the rulebook for the Pro League.
So, 10-9, Renegades up one round, and this has pretty much depleted the economy of Cloud9 as well. I mean, they have a decent buy here. They're a little bit low in utility, but they have the entire arsenal that they'd want. It's just a matter of after this, if they're to lose this round, then they're out of money, and it's a very tough situation for them moving forward. So Renegades heavy play towards Ivy. Shroud's the only one here. A lot of utility on the Renegade side. It's not going to be used though. They're just going to walk out, go for some contact play. Shroud sprays down 2, gets a dink onto JKS as well, and nothing cleans one up. Yam's still alive. He picks one off. Freakazoid is pushed up towards T-Choke in a 2-on-3 situation.
And now Stewie just trying to make sure there's no pressure coming over towards the inside of the yard. Hold on, he very swiftly relocating himself, grouping up with the rest of his remaining teammates, whereas the Renegades, they're going to have to try to work a miracle here now, grouping themselves up. Thankfully, C9 isn't really being so aggressive, with the exception of placing Freakazoid instead of T-Con. They should be used to this by this point, though, because he's been doing this pretty often. So, Yam might actually sneak his way in there, and if he doesn't move in ready, then there could be a nasty surprise waiting for him. But Ustilo is going to have a much cleaner path to get himself inside of the ladder room to get ready to jump outside, but there's Yam. He actually finds Freakazoid, takes him down, so now we're down to a 2v2. Zelo trying to smoke his way outside of Z, but a little bit surprised there as he finds Stewie. Still able to take him down. Skadoodle responds. That catches Ustilo off guard, but now he's up in the face of Skadoodle, trying to take him down, and he's going to succeed in doing so. So Renegades will clutch out the round, bringing themselves up to 11-9 in their favor.
Huge round for Renegades to win. I thought they were going to be kicking themselves for that one when Shroud has that huge play over towards Ivy, because one flashbang from Renegades, and that essentially Shroud doesn't get any kills there. If it's just a nice pop flash, he's completely blind. But still, you still doing some work coming up onto the bomb site. Cloud9 almost able to hold on to it. Just the timing of Freakazoid pushed up, like you said, just the second he turns around, he gets caught. A little bit unfortunate for him. And now Renegades anti-eco, they have 3 MAC-10s, and they're just going to rush the center bomb site, looking to gain some money off of this.
And C9 won't really be able to do all that much to resist this, maybe running into somebody on the top of ladder or whatnot, hoping to overwhelm one of those players, but odds are not going to be happening. They're just pressing forward now, looking to find someone that'll be maybe regrouping with the rest of the team. Not the case, though, as they took a gamble, and it's the wrong way. So Renegades are going to be able to find a fairly easy round here, as they'll put themselves up to 12 rounds with basically not much combat happening. There's Azza finally picking up the first kill. Stewie does respond with his own pickup on towards JKS, and Sponge is probably going to be some combat in a moment here too. Pushing him very quickly is going to be Stewie, but surprise, coming up the ladder room there. Sponge almost is taken down, but good reaction, able to take down Nothing and Stewie, as at the same time he's almost caught out by Shroud, but another swift response takes him down. The only kill that's happened so far against the Renegades has been the loss of JKS, but now the only player left alive is Freakazoid. Got a good angle against Azza, but Azza goes for the jump and is unable to execute because of that one. So Azza's going to finish off the remaining members of C9. No one's going to make it through that round.
And those MAC-10s make so much money for Renegades. They're going to upgrade here, anticipating a buy. It's the good call because Stewie busts out the M4, so does Freakazoid. There's going to be no AWP for the Cloud9 side. It's all M4s across the board. Once again, light on utility, but they're at the point now, 9-12, where they have to make a stand here. Renegades is just inching closer and closer, and a loss here would once again force a save out of Cloud9. So a critical round if C9 wants to make a comeback here in this match.
This is going to be, again, one of their final chances to do so here, now that Renegades is pushing so far ahead. Big investment coming out from the side of C9. Starting themselves out, though. Nothing out of the usual in terms of a buy round for the split that they're doing, but Stewie getting a little bit aggressive, but still a pretty normal position to place himself this far forward onto the first train outside of the ramp. No action coming in for the Renegade side of this just as of yet, but it's a 2-3 split. 3 players moving their way over towards the Ivy Hall, and 2 more on top of the back of B, but probably going to be relocating themselves over here towards ladder room when the actual hit comes, because it'll be working its way towards the outside yard again. They've been met with much success over here. A little bit rough sometimes on the initial trades, but now they start to press themselves forward. JKS leads the charge. Molly rolls in. He's unable to push past that, but with a smoke, he'll feel a little bit more secure. Molly's thrown out to try and push any players to the right back, but there's nothing here. Now JKS is going to wrap around. He's found Shroud. He's brought down to 67 HP initially. They still get good control of this one, but they have to watch out for Skadoodle, who's just around the corner. JKS, though, gets the lock on to him, takes down Skadoodle, and follows it up with another kill on the Shroud. So very quickly, Renegades get control, and because of the positioning, they're actually able to go all the way around through CT spawn and just take this into the B bomb site. They may not even have to plan here, as they just absolutely destroyed C9. Only Nothing is left alive now, simply because of the virtue that he was not in the warpath of Renegades.
Yeah, JKS is an absolute beast. Those were some sick shots coming out of Ivy. good entries wrapping around towards CT spawn. And just that kind of a play, it's so hard to adjust to that when the first 2 kills go the way of Renegades. There's no real rotations that are very effective from that outer train yard because you're so exposed from that range to everywhere. So it's pretty much a free split towards inner, and this is just a disaster for Cloud9. Having a lot of time recovering from that lost round. 9-13, and they're back onto the save. They upgrade some pistols. Stewie has some armor, but nothing really to give them any hope into this. And after this round, it's got to be a huge run from them to come back. Renegades knocking on the door of victory already. This is going to be a fast play towards the outer bomb site. Shroud spots one far away with the Deagle, takes a shot, does a little bit of damage, but now the AKs are going to chime in. Sponge grabs a kill. Actually grabs 2, one with the Molotov, and there's Yseela just cleaning house. So this is a round 1 for Renegades.
Eager round, still not proving to be very effective, unfortunately, from the side of C9. So, final 2 with no real investment, just going to move in, look to see if they can find an exit or 2, or just try to find themselves in a cheeky position. An attempt at a pop flash from Stewie. It's going to explode just a little bit too late, so Hazza will be able to take him down without falling himself. Renegades make it through another round with minimal losses as well here. 2 rounds in a row now without losing a single player. So stacking up a lot of money on this T side. And for C9, this is going to be one of their last gun rounds before Renegades just stomp right over them and take control of the first map tonight.
Well, here's the desperation play. Double op setup comes out. Shroud has one, Skadoodle has the other. The one silver lining is a full losing bonus is working in their way, but Renegades is going to put a lot of pressure early on. Already nades streaming out over the walls, out T mid. Meanwhile, Renegades also setting up above ladder for some smoke play, but Yam's actually pushing towards the inner bomb site, so Freakazoid gets the opening kill, and he's going to let his team know there's no more presence out there, and that's going to cause Skadoodle to rotate back towards the inner bomb site just in time. Stewie's up on top of the first train, and this execute loses a lot of its power. Stewie not even blind, clothesline Sponge. No one's there for a trade, but until Azur comes out the upper ramp, a missed shot from Skadoodle, and there's Yam chiming it down to a 3-on-3 situation. Cloud9's losing control here.
Hazza pushing up, not expecting nothing to be so aggressive with his positioning back over there in the little alley next to the hangar train. And now some nice nades go in, doing some good damage to the 2 remaining members of the Renegades. Freakazoid trying to push in, catches another player unaware, so that's going to shut out Yam. JKS, the last one alive. He's going to try to get aggressive, pushing forward, catching Freakazoid just below, wrapping out, finding the second one, and now looking for the final kill on a Shroud, but he doesn't realize he's up on top, catches it this time. He's down to 13 HP, but Shroud recovers just in time, is able to finish off JKS, and will be keeping C9 alive for at least a little bit longer.
Oh, JKS almost pulls off such a sick clutch, surrounded from all angles. He gets 2. Just the spray. He needed one more bullet to connect, and it's not going to happen. Shroud recovers with the pistol, and Cloud9 just hangs on by a thread. Now, the double op is taken away from them. Freakazoid could buy one, but I highly doubt it. Yeah, he's just going to go for the M4. So the economy is still extremely, extremely hurt for C9. Renegades, meanwhile, they're sitting on like just piles of cash. They can buy out for the rest of this half, essentially. They can buy through a full losing bonus as it builds up. So this is looking good for them. A long way to go before Cloud9 can break the bank of Renegades.
For the Renegades specifically, as we look at their setup, it goes back to something that's actually fairly default here for the T's on this map. Most of them moving out, maybe a little bit more pressure being applied towards Ivy this time, but they're all hugging the walls just in the event that C9 would try to get aggressive now with the victory on their backs. Definitely not going to be the case, though, considering they're still in a very risky position. Being down this far, and them just getting a fledgling economy rolling here. If they drop it, they're still going to be reset, and they're still going to basically have no money to work with, which would essentially cede the victory over to the side of the Renegades. So, fairly passive play with the exception of the usual push from Freakazoid inside of the T connector, whereas the rest of the Renegades lining up a default hit at the outside site.
It's funny, though, because Freakazoid has been pushing up here very, very frequently. He's been here so often, but Renegades, when they do slow tactics, they haven't really gone towards the terrace connector. They haven't gone through the standard mid route. They've been going slow towards Ivy. They've gone slow towards the inner bomb site, but Freakazoid's aggression in mid has never really come to any kind of massive fruition, just because there's been no presence from Renegades there. Now it looks like they do want to take it over, waiting for a smoke to go away, waiting for it to expire. But a pretty default setup. Shroud with the AWP back behind all the lanes, looking at an angle towards Ivy, and here comes that execution.
Freakazoid going to be trying to hang out just to the right of E-Box. Nobody spotted him as of yet. It's an initial surprise, and a good pop flash rolls in there, too. He's able to pick up a second kill. Nothing further back near the bomb train shuts down as finally JKS trades, but it doesn't matter, as nothing's going to be able to finish him off. Yam picking one up. He's alone now in the 1v3, with only 20 seconds left to try and get this bomb down on the ground. And Skadoodle's just going to get boosted up right on top of Ticket. He's got an easy angle versus Yam. Finishes it up. And C9 find their 11th round, bouncing back quite nicely here after it looked like they were all but done for just a couple rounds ago.
Yeah, a little bit scary now for Renegades. They've been shut up these past 2. Double up setup goes back to Cloud9 for free. Pick up Yam's AWP, 11-14. Money starting to dwindle for Renegades. They still have another buy behind this one. This is a strong buy. Yeah, I'm still on the AWP. They still have all their Molotovs, all their smokes to utilize, but they've been shut out these past two. So what's the adjustment here for Renegades? They sent a couple in towards Whitehall's, 2 of them. Actually, it looks like the majority of Renegades is going to come this way. JKS is going to meet up with them. It's Ustillo and Sponge trying to cause a distraction. That's a nice shot from Ustillo. Now it's just nothing, hiding behind a smoke, trying to do some work, holding onto this outer bomb site. But the defense is so passive towards Inner. Stewie's fallen all the way back, and he has to cede this bomb site.
Stewie going to be hanging back. He doesn't even fully realize the pressure's rolled in as of yet catching it now. Trying to hope for JKS to peek out a little bit there, but Amali's going to come in as of finding another pickup here. And yeah, I'm just being given Stewie as he peeks outside of that. Good flank coming in from Azzy. He hasn't caught Shroud though, and unfortunately looks towards him just a bit too late, so he is able to execute. But all this hesitance from the side of C9 on the retake has given room for JKS to sneak up now. He's just outside of the train near Z. I'm finding another pickup on a Shroud, and nothing is the last man alive. He needs to fall away and save this op, as the team is still sitting on essentially nothing for what they have left over in their money. Sponge screwing up a little bit there towards the end of the round, and we almost see nothing finding a second kill there, but JKS is going to be able to take him down, which means no saves at all for C9. And they're basically just going to have upgraded pistols with armor sitting behind it for what could be the last round.
A shotgun onto nothing and a scout onto Shroud. Those are the 2 strongest weapons they have to work with. We talked a lot in the first half about Azur having a really good game, but look at how JKS has come alive here. 26 kills for him. He's had a monster second half. Some fantastic entries as well, and it looks like Renegades pressuring very early on and towards the outer train yard. The scout doing some work, though. Ustillo's brought down to 14. That's really, really dangerous. Renegades is going to have to reassess.
So, as we see Freakazoid actually catching that first kill onto Ustillo, they're getting aggressive once. And finally, this is going to net them some kills. There's nothing grouped up with him this time. It's able to take down Sponge as he presses his way in towards this now, bringing it down to a 3v5, and they still really don't have a full idea as to where the pressure could be coming from with C9 over towards the inside of sight. But nonetheless, Azza going to be regrouping with the rest of his team. A little bit hesitant to drop themselves down inside of ladder room, as it actually looks like there's a last-minute decision to go for an inner hit instead. But this is dangerous too, because C9 are very mobile on this round, and they're going to have no trouble whatsoever relocating themselves towards the inside bomb site.
Yeah, with this man advantage as well, the entries have to be very clean for Renegades. They have to be swift as well, because Shroud's already on the rotate over. He's got the scout. They've also salvaged an AK-47 on Freakazoid. And Renegades is slow playing this one. Yam just creeping down the slower ramp with the AWP. They're going to give him some time to get a pick here. And actually, they want to drop down ladder. Once a kill goes the way of Yam, they're going to hit this outer bomb site. He's waiting for any kind of a peek. Shroud's not obliging quite yet. 2 members in the bomb site, so Shroud has no reason to peek. And also nothing now on a quick flank. He could actually catch JKS out if this takes any more time. Yam just now starting to walk into the bomb site. He sees nothing yet. There's the shot. Stewie finds him. Nothing gets 1 kill. Down to Azur. 1-on-4 situation. 20 seconds left, and Freakazoid is going to get a free one from Ebox. So Cloud9 again holding on by the skin of their teeth.
And just off of that, a nice play from C9, finally kicking up the aggression a little bit there to bounce themselves back into the game. It catches Renegades off guard, and now look at the money on the T side. They actually really don't have enough to sustain themselves, at least in this round. Yam's still sitting on quite a bit of extra cash, as for JKS, but for most of these guys, they're nowhere near a good enough position. So it's mainly just going to be half buys this round. Tech9's 2 of their players aren't even going to invest armor behind it, and very limited on utility. They're just going very quickly to set themselves up for a push, already moving themselves down the ladder, keeping Sponge held back here a little bit with the bomb in the event that the initial push doesn't go so well, but it's definitely probably going to end up being an outer hit.
A little bit of distraction going on towards the box halls, towards inner. No one moving from Cloud9, no reason to really. Playing very, very passively, very far back, and there's no smokes for Renegades. Some armor that they can use, but I mean, they're going to have to hit some 6 shots of these Tech9s if they want to progress onto the bomb site. Cloud9 has a massive advantage here, especially in terms of the range.
And Renegades is trying to figure out what exactly to do with themselves, since pushing in initially doesn't really net them all that much. They fall back, and now their entire player base is pushing themselves through the light halls, if they're not already in back of the B bomb site now, to make it hit here, but C9 are set up. And so long as these entries aren't on point initially, they should be able to hold it off quite nicely, especially if they can get some of this utility out to hold it back a bit more, but now comes the first flashbang. They're going to roll it out. Skadoodle catching that first shot on the Sponge, finding a second one on the Yam, and Ustilo killing himself after Stewie connects a shot there. He's going to kill himself due to the fall damage. Azur does respond by eliminating Stewie, but now the cavalry's arrived essentially from the A-bomb site. Everybody's just pushing forward. It's a single unit. JKS, the last man alive, hasn't recovered an AK or anything. Tries to go out to duel against nothing, but that's not going to pay off very well. Nothing shuts him down, and another successful retake. He rolls in from C9.
Yeah, but the plant is all they needed. That's going to give the Sponge the money he needs to have a solid buy. They can have AWP on Yam as well. AK-47s across the board. So good buy is going to come out here from Renegades. They're even going to have some left over for the next round. If they happen to lose this, the last round of the half, they'll still have a pretty healthy situation in terms of what they can purchase. You know, JKS after he full buys is at 2,900. Azure after a full buy 1,900. You still have 1,300. So that's pretty solid moving forward for them. Meanwhile, I mean, it's the same situation with Cloud9. So this last round, if it comes to it, is going to be a really solid buy from both of these teams. No one's going to be at a huge disadvantage.
So a quick setup once again for the default on Renegades' end of this one. Already Azert moving himself down inside of the ladder room, sitting up on top. They do have Ustilo watching out for a push to the back of the B-bomb site. And a couple more players outside of either Ivy or T-Connector. Just going to run the timer down a little bit here. Same as quite a few of these past rounds, and C9 did kick up the aggression on what could have been a round that caused the GG in the favor of Renegades, but ever since then, now Renegades are holding back quite a bit more. Trying to watch out for that, but C9 only really did it for that single round. They've gone right back to the passive setup now. That's exactly what they're doing. A little bit of aggression, push themselves up on the outside yard, but that's about it. Beyond that, they're still in very safe, very defendable positions. And Renegades is still going to have to be on point with their entries if they want to try to find their way out to the site, which is what they've been struggling with now over these past couple of rounds.
Yeah, now they're going to go slowly towards T-mid, and nothing, and Freakazoid playing close up. Nothing looks like he wants to just smoke something. He's waiting for any kind of indication that someone's going to be there. In fact, he's got an angle. Now it's looking like he's going to smoke off as soon as he sees these flashbangs come out. He's a little bit blind right now, but they've got to clear him out of position. This is a huge spot for him. Freakazoid blind as well. Initial kill goes towards nothing. Freakazoid falls. Nothing gets a second. He's coming up huge. Can't get a third. 3-on-3 as they hit this outer bomb site, but Shroud and Skadoodle, they're already here to man down this defense.
Skadoodle's going to relocate himself up towards heaven now, waiting for a shot by E-Box. Shoots it, but not going to be able to make the connection on a JKS. Shroud already put himself on the bomb train too, so the CT's back into a spot quickly, but Renegades are all gone. They can't find them. They've disappeared. Now they've got to go hunting and try to figure out where these last couple of players are remaining. The Molly rolls out. They know one of them's inside of the ladder room, but JKS hanging out just on behind that train there, and they don't actually see each other. Now it's Skadoodle's pushed up. He's on this bomb. I don't think anybody actually realizes it. Look, he's going to be able to defuse that bomb, and there's still 2 players left alive from Renegades. What a huge slip-up from the side of the Australians, and Shroud even picks up 2 more kills to top it off.
I believe the ladder room is Molotoved, and that's why there can't be a peek towards that bomb train. But either way, Renegades, they get in really good post-plant positioning, but they don't have any aggression afterwards. It's so passive. They let Cloud9 have all the ground they need to retake that bomb site to gain all the advantages to defend a diffuser. They had a couple decent crossfires set up with Yam and Hell with that AWP, but just no one from Renegades seemed like they wanted to peek anything. So a little bit of a blunder there. And Cloud9, I mean, despite everything, this comeback, it all comes down to this last round. They've won 5 of the last 6. To get to 14-15.
And for C9, they've definitely stabilized themselves as they were struggling severely earlier on in this half, specifically with just trying to make sure they could afford even the bare essentials of a buy-up. Now for Renegades, they do have enough to go for one more investment this time. Should be pretty fruitful as well, bringing everything they need in terms of utility, so they're not going to be lacking in that regard, but these executions have been very back and forth, and this is just not favoring the T's. It's giving Cloud9 the room to retake almost every single round of these past 6 or 7 now. And unfortunately, what's up?
I just watched the replay of that round, and actually the Molotov that blocked off the ladder player from peeking was his own Molotov.
Really?
He, like, missed it. It bounced off a wall and just dropped right in front of him. So he couldn't peek at the bomb, and that was, like, the main thing. He was the one playing contact. He was the one saying, I'll take the first shot, I'll spot for the diffuser, you guys peek off me. And he couldn't do anything. So that's actually a massive mistake from Renegades. I didn't see that initially, but Jesus, that's rough.
So now that the Renegades have made another big mistake here, after seemingly having control of this matchup just a few rounds ago, it's definitely fallen away, and now C9 is in control of things to take this at the very least into overtime. If we don't finally see a round being picked up by Renegades right here, there comes that investment. They do get Yam with the op. It's got armor behind it. Not the most utility, but that shouldn't matter as the rest of the team still has everything they should need. And they're going up probably an equally as strong buy against C9.
This is a sick last round. Very fast-paced towards the outer train yard. A couple members already streaming into hell. Ustilo gets legged by Shroud. Still alive, though, until that nade cleans him out. Freakazoid as well onto JKS. And there's Skadoodle. Renegades have no access into this bomb site, and Cloud9 have done it. They've made the comeback. They force overtime. 15-15. What an incredible position to be in after all seemed lost. after the power outage, after that lost round. I mean, they the mental fortitude to come back from that. Really nicely done from Cloud9.
It's a big plays, of course, coming out from both Freakazoid and Nothing, which is actually, and Shroud as well, of course. So Shroud, you sort of expect him to be at the top of the scoreboard for this team, but big plays as well from Nothing, Freakazoid, and to a certain degree, even Skadoodle as well, hanging behind the team a little bit there. But almost everybody on C9 coming out with those monster performances in the second half, definitely impacting in a very big way. So Renegades, not the same from them, with a sort of seeing a much shyer Yam in this matchup there, only sitting at 15 frags. Azur, of course, had gone off, and again, you often see those top of your performances from Renegades. We've seen it once again here tonight as he's leading the team. The next guy down is actually he's not that far behind JKS at 27 and 17, but the highest fragger right now is Azur at 32 and 21.
This is sick. So for those of you who might be a little bit new to Pro League, overtime rules are max rounds 3 rounds per overtime half, $10,000 start money. Which always feels like a lot, but that dwindles really, really quickly, especially when the purchase of AWPs come into play. And Yam this time is going to take a stance towards T-Con with that AWP, trying to find a pick towards the outer train yard. No one kind of showing on top of this mid-train, which is where he's peering for. Now going for another peek. Shroud, meanwhile, doesn't have the op. There was a double op setup from Cloud9 for a lot of the end of this half, and actually nades are going to force Yam back. Freakazoid's now got position, but Yam seems wise to it. So he's just going to hold this angle. Freakazoid hears these scopes, but a little bit of stalemate until that pop flash comes in, and Freakazoid can't land the kill initially, but he does find it eventually. Advantage goes to Cloud9.
Sponge not able to react to that when Freakazoid was out in the open, so he's going to lose his teammate with no damage being traded back. Gets away with that kill scot-free. He's going to just recommit himself over here to the E-box. Still has plenty of players covering for an entry coming out from T-Connector. Should Renegades still decide to go forward with this, but they are looking at other options, or at least they were. Ustila looking to make some noise over here to the back of the B-bomb site, but now going to recommit themselves, ignoring T-Connector completely, it would seem. Moving most of their guys over to either the area over there by Ivy or pushing them in towards the ladder room. So going to try to dodge where most of the commitment is coming in from C9. But unfortunately for them, Shroud also has a good position just over here outside of Ivy. So wherever they go, they are going to meet resistance from the members of C9. A pop flash comes out. Shroud tries to peek, doesn't catch anything there. So I actually think that they're going to try to go where the fake is heading in now, as we do have a 2-player commitment coming in from the Renegades. They're not making a whole lot of progress. They haven't found Stewie as of yet, so he's inside of that smoke. He's able to find a kill into Azza. Ustilo is looking for the trade so he can hold control of things in here, but the guys over here on the A-bomb site, they're not going to be tested as well as that entry comes in from there. Freakazoid, nicely done from him, holds it off. After Stewie had picked up another kill on Inner there on Ustilo, he takes down both of the remaining players that pushed in from Ivy and picks up a 3K on that round.
Yeah, that's a really sick hold from Stewie, who's had a little bit of a quiet match. He's down at 16 and 20, but those 2 kills are so important because that fake only works if the members from Renegades going inside get a kill or 2 to force the rotations to be a little bit more, a little bit more committed, a little bit more extreme. But Stewie's able to hold strong inside that smoke and finds the 2 kills, which is absolutely massive for Cloud9. Now they're up 16 to 15. Once again, Yam with the AWP, but him and JKS are pretty much completely bought out into this overtime. They're down at $50, so not a lot of money left for them into the next round if they're happy to lose this. So now they can start punishing this $10,000 start money in overtime. But Cloud9 looking strong here, dating back towards regulation. I mean, they've held on. They've won what, like, they've only lost 1 round in like the past 8. So this is really good stuff on the defense for C9.
Now as Nothing presses for it, he's going to find himself in an early duel versus Yam, but Yam has a better angle there. Nothing maybe just a little bit too high, so not able to meet the connection. But no follow-up coming in as of yet from the Renegades. They're still going to keep to this slow style of play. Not wanting to get any of their players in any unnecessary positions, but C9 are frozen up now. Usual 2-2 split defense. It's going to fall to Skadoodle along with Stewie to hold things on the inner bomb site. One player watching either of the avenues, but also in angles that can get very easily smoked off. And Skadoodle, he's given pressure to rotate back over towards the A-bomb site, so it all falls to Stewie now. He's in a pretty safe position, putting himself behind the bomb train, but still, with Renegades moving in a second, they thankfully rotated Skadoodle back in, but that angle is going to be smoked off. He's going to have to take some blind shots, hoping they can connect. There is a great HE that rolls in, though. Sponge, Jam, and Azur all hit basically head on from that one. More molly damage coming in, but they still find the first 2 pickups, taking out both Skadoodle and Stewie. And now the 2 remaining C9 members have to rotate in. It's a 2v5. They haven't even killed anyone from the T side as of yet.
Yeah, this is not going to be a retake. They're just going to fall away. And actually, Azur's not going to let Shroud get off so easy. Finds the headshot at the end. So Renegades with that opening pick, they transition into a late inner bomb site take, and nothing is found by Cloud9. So finally, Renegades get back on the board. They try to tie things up at 16-16. Freakazoid's going to keep this AK-47 in the next round. He'll be able to drop that over to Nothing, who's a little bit beat up in terms of economy, but other than that, everyone else is sitting very nicely. So it's going to be a full buy for both of these teams into the next round. Again, everything they could possibly want.
Freakazoid just trying to hold on here as the last semblance left alive. Thankfully, the Renegades are checking in all the wrong places, so he'll definitely be making it out of this round. Might have even been able to go in there and try to scavenge something, but I don't think there's anything really close to Z anyway. So C9 still have enough money. They'll be able to buy up into this next round as we come to the conclusion of the first half of OT here. And for the Renegades, bouncing right back here, starting to make this OT a little bit close once again after finally picking up another round, as we'd C9 seemingly dominating for, as you were mentioning, like 6 or 7 rounds in a row there.
And Renegades, what do they switch up? It looks like everyone's going to head towards the inner bomb site, except for, once again, Yam, aggressive in T-connector with this AWP. These are actually the battles he likes to take as an opera. He likes to be aggressive inside choke points, and I think he actually spots the gun barrel of Shroud. Yeah, he does. So he knows one's there. Now he's going to try and find Nothing, and he spots out an elbow. But meanwhile, Skadoodle's found the first kill. This inner hit is on, and Stewie finds a second. No one from Renegades has found a kill until just now. Yam and Ustila each find one. There's still Skadoodle to deal with. They think he's up a ramp, but he's actually below it. Spindles, Ustila recovers nicely, down to a 2-on-2.
Freakazoid looking for a flank, but he's found one of the remaining members of Renegades, and now it's all onto Estilo. He's going to try and sneak there with the plant here to start the timer going, but now he's got to get himself into a safe position. This bomb train area is not the place to be. He spotted Freakazoid just as he was about to retreat up the ramp, and he's going to roll away just in time. Gets himself up on top. He's got the Dream Molly lined up, but there's no doubt that players from C9 are going to be pressuring him. I think the smoke might have gone on top of the bomb there as well. It is now, and Freakazoid is just going to commit to it. Ustilo trying to peek out. That Molly, you can't do it, man. You got to roll out there and try to grab that defuse. He didn't even realize, I don't think, that there was a smoke there, and as he backs up, rolls into a Molly that the CTs had tossed out. So Ustilo, he's going to go down, and C9 will lead coming out of the first half of OT.
Yeah, not much hope for him there in that 1-on-2 2 HP like that. I actually am surprised to see that. I was really shocked to see that inner hit happen so quickly, because Yam had made good progress outside. He was going to get a pick. It was just a matter of, seconds. You saw Skadoodle gets the opening kill, but Yam responds immediately after that. So if that had waited a little bit longer, might have been able to pull the attention of Skadoodle away for just enough time to make that inner hit much more effective. So just a little bit missed time, but either way, Renegades does get one on their T side, back onto the defense. 19 is the magic number here for the winning team.
So wait for the ready ups to come in. C9 jumping back onto the side where they actually had quite a bit of trouble as we were starting off and as we got towards the ending portions of that first half there. So taking a minute probably to re-strategize themselves and figure out how they want to roll with this. PM as well stepping up a little bit in OT there, but again, still missing that big flavor of the equation that is normally huge from the Renegades. It's Spinaza mainly still stepping up, and that continues to be what is the case here. And JKS as well. So just needing a few moments here for C9 to re-strategize, and then we can probably jump into the second half.
Yeah, just a slight little reconnect. But this has been quite a cool show, and I mean, Renegades showing some pretty good adaptation on their T sides. Kind of, they were mixing in between, because we really didn't see them put a lot of pressure towards the T choke in regulation. But once they got into overtime, Yam had a presence there, was able to find a couple picks in a few rounds. Even him getting killed there in the first round of overtime and then going back to it, that confidence to just go right back at that fight was cool to see. So the one thing that they didn't really change was it was a lot of just late round B hits, late round alley hits, and they worked out really, really well. But now it's going to be all on Cloud9's T side to see if they can come back into this one, which is going to be a little bit tough, I think. That Renegade CT side looked very, very strong for a section. If it weren't for that pistol round, I think Cloud9 might have been a little bit stumped on how to really break into that defense.
So we'll go into it now. Usual investments coming in. Nothing crazy out of the CTs. No auto snipers or whatnot being bought up just as of yet, despite us having seen them in the past. C9, it's the same thing from them. They do buy up the op for the T side as well, so they'll try to work for that. Let's take a look now and see what angles they're going to try to work early on. It's looking like it's going to be pretty much the default to start off here. Moving some of their players on top of the ladder room, and 3 more working their way back over here towards Ivy, keeping one just outside of T connector, ready to execute with the bomb if things go well on the initial push.
Look at this boost from Cloud9, trying to pick off anyone who's going to push towards upper ramp. Not going to see anything. Nothing in his position back towards Ivy. They get him to the other side to watch for pushes. That'll be a timing flank or late lurk on Ivy when their actual execution comes into play. Molotov's not going to do it. Oh, it does actually reach out and burn him pretty decently down to 52. So good damage dealt early by Renegades, but they're very passive. Not playing up close to the choke points like Cloud9 was. They're playing a little bit more back towards the bomb train, allowing them to reconvene when they see what the execute comes out.
And C9 just running the timer down, looking for that aggression early on in the round. Not going to be catching any of it, of course. Same thing as we saw previously, but Amali does connect a little bit of damage on the JKS. He's able to get out of that pretty quickly, though. Oh, never mind. He goes back inside it. Takes a little bit more. Still only down to 74, though, so can easily manage that. The real test for him is going to be if C9 do go for a fake X initially, is how well is he going to call this, but it's nothing that pushes him through Ivy initially. Picking up a first and now second kill onto Ustilo, completely breaks up the defenses too. This is great because it shouted their positioning, and the take's not even going to be happening here on the outside yard. He's only moving in for a flank. The rest of these players now moving in to go for an inner hit. Finally, nothing. Might have met his match a little bit here, but Azur hiding inside of that smoke. He hasn't seen him as of yet, but Freakazoid's going to try to sneak up. That doesn't work so well. JKS has finished off Shroud. It's back down to a 3v3. The T's have the bomb down, and they have a bit of a wedge driven too, with nothing being back inside of CT spawn. So they have to take a little bit of time just being cautious of him. But for the most part, these guys now pressing forward are looking for that retake while keeping their eyes out for nothing. Azur pushes up for free on that first train there, but Stewie trades him back out. But Yam coming in, shuts down nothing, and his failed attempt to flank. Stewie with the repeat, though, takes down JKS. And the last man alive is going to be Yam. The smoke rolls in. He's just going to try to jump on the bomb, but he can't find the bomb, it seems. Goes outside of it, trying to finish things off as he looks for the kill on the Stewie, at least. But no, Stewie's going to be able to take down Yam, and Yam, a bit of a mistake from him, throwing that smoke down before he actually got the location of the bomb. He wasn't able to find it and left himself in a very awkward position.
Well, nothing is a one-man army that round. Those 2 kills he gets, it's actually incredible that Renegades is almost able to bring that one back. But now, I mean, you can see backs against the wall. Cloud9, they're on match point, and Renegades realize his economy doesn't mean anything if they can't win this round. They switch into a double op setup, highly expensive, pretty much depletes their bank, but they absolutely need this round to win. And Yam looked like he wanted to get aggressive towards the lower up of the AWP, but he just grabs an angle, hits the jumping shot onto Stewie, goes for a second. He does find it, but Shroud of nothing. They get 2 kills of their own, so again, back down to a 3-on-3. Freakazoid lurking out T-mid. It's got a little bit of a sticky situation, and there's Skadoodle with the kill over the smoke. It's going to be all on Azur holding inside the bomb site. Nothing is being very patient taking this bomb site. That gives Azur the time to push up, though. Down to a 2-on-2 now, and Skadoodle, it's his turn next, and he does find it. The entry with the AWP, really well done. Sponge is the last one left, misses the initial shot, and Freakazoid, this flank is coming in ever so slowly.
Freakazoid just taking his time with it. Skadoodle already pulling off 2 very impressive kills. Just gets the walkout kill in his second one. In the first one, he was completely blind for it. Threw his smoke as well. Just caught the position of Sponge. Can throw the molly over the bot and prevent him from getting access to it. He's going to fall back to try and get a better angle. He finds it. But hello, Freakazoid. He's going to come up right behind him. Doesn't actually get the connection at first, but just taking his time with it, it seems. He does manage to finish things off. And there you have it, guys. C9 are going to be claiming the first map. 19-16 is the final score. They take it in overtime number 1. And that was only the first map. We have a second one coming up in just a few minutes. It's going to be over on Dust 2. So you actually got a pretty good map veto for this set here. As of course the Renegades banned out Cash and any of the other good maps. And C9 banning out their usual ones like Inferno as well. So the randomizer ended up going over here towards Train, along with the second map being over on Dust 2. So that's going to be the map we'll be going for here in just a few minutes. Stick around, and we'll be back with more of the ESL Pro League for North America.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, G2A, NVIDIA, and ESEA.